God says, "My child, come closer and listen with your heart, not just with your ears. I know why your chest feels tight today. I know why your thoughts are restless and your spirit feels unsettled. Last night, while the world was quiet and lights were turned low, your soulmates sat with tears in their eyes. They spoke to a friend in a trembling voice, and yes, I heard every word. I heard what they said about your age, about the difference that has been weighing on their mind like a stone they cannot easily put down. And before fear takes root in your heart, I want you to hear this clearly: those tears were not born from rejection. They were born from love. My child, when a soul cries in the quiet hours of the night, it is because the heart is full, not empty. Your soulmate did not cry because they do not care. They cried because they care so deeply that it scares them. They cried because love has touched them in a way they did not expect, in a time they did not plan, and through a connection they did not choose lightly. Their tears were the language of a heart that feels too much, not too little. I saw them sit there, holding their phone, pacing slowly, lowering their voice as if love itself was something fragile that might break if spoken too loudly. I heard them say your name with a mix of tenderness and fear. I heard the pause before they spoke about age, the long silence that came before the words finally fell out. That pause was not doubt about you. That pause was fear of the world. My child, understand this truth now so it does not wound you later: age was not the pain. Age was the excuse fear used to speak. The real pain was the thought of losing you. The real fear was not numbers, not years, not time. It was the fear of judgment, the fear of responsibility, the fear of stepping into a love that feels bigger than anything they have known before. They said to their friend, with tears slipping down their face, "What if people don't understand? What if this becomes harder later? What if I fail them?" Do you hear that, my child? They did not say, "What if I don't love them?" They said, "What if I'm not strong enough?" That is not rejection. That is a soul realizing the weight of real love. I know your heart trembles when you hear the word age. I know it brings old wounds to the surface, moments when you felt judged, compared, or made to feel less than enough. But listen to me carefully now: love is not measured in years. Souls do not age the way bodies do. Souls recognize each other by familiarity, by depth, by truth. And your souls recognized each other long before this lifetime began. Your soulmate feels this recognition. That is why they cried. That is why they could not sleep. That is why they needed to speak to someone, because the love they feel for you is not light, casual, or passing. It is heavy with meaning. It carries consequences. It asks them to grow, to mature, to face fears they once avoided. And growth, my child, often begins with tears. I saw them cover their face with their hands. I saw their shoulders shake. I heard them say, "I didn't choose this. It just happened." And that is the truth. Divine connections are not chosen by the mind. They arrive by destiny. They interrupt plans. They challenge timelines. They question everything the world taught them to believe about how love should look, when it should arrive, and who it should come through. Your soulmate is not crying because of shame. They are crying because they are standing between two voices. One voice is the world, loud, judgmental, rigid, obsessed with numbers and appearances. The other voice is the heart. Soft, persistent, undeniable, whispering your name in moments of silence. And right now, my child, those two voices are in conflict inside them. I want you to understand something very important. When someone cries to a friend, they are not seeking permission to leave. They are seeking courage to stay. Your soulmate spoke about your age because they were trying to understand why something so beautiful feels so frightening. They were trying to explain a fear they do not fully understand themselves. They asked their friend, "Why does this matter so much if it feels so right?" That question did not come from doubt about you. It came from confusion about the world they were taught to obey. Society taught them rules. Love came and broke those rules. And now they are standing in the space between conditioning and truth. My child, your soulmate defended you even while crying. I heard them say, "They understand me like no one else. They make me feel safe." I heard the way their voice softened when they spoke about your kindness, your patience, your depth. Tears fell because they are afraid of hurting you, afraid of disappointing others, afraid of making the wrong choice. But fear only visits hearts that care deeply. Do not harden your heart because of this moment. Do not pull away in silence. Do not assume the worst. This is not the moment for distance. This is the moment for faith. Love is being tested, not denied. The universe is revealing the truth of your bond, not threatening it. I know you wish they would come to you directly. I know you wish they would speak with certainty instead of confusion. But remember, my child, not everyone processes fear the same way. Some people cry before they choose. Some people tremble before they stand firm. Some hearts need to release fear through tears before they can hold love with strength. Your soulmate is not weak. They are becoming honest with themselves. And honesty is the doorway to real commitment. If this connection meant nothing, there would be no tears. If you were temporary, there would be no fear. The depth of their emotion reveals the depth of their attachment. I ask you now to guard your spirit. Do not let insecurity speak louder than truth. Do not measure your worth by someone else's fear. You are not too old or too young for love. You are exactly where you are meant to be, carrying the wisdom, tenderness, and strength that your soulmate's soul recognizes. There is a reason they cried instead of walking away. There is a reason your name stayed on their lips even while fear spoke in their mind. There is a reason they could not pretend this love was simple or small. This connection has weight because it is real. Tonight, and in the nights to come, your soulmate will replay that conversation in their mind. They will think about your laugh, your presence, the way you make them feel seen. They will realize that the pain they felt while crying was not caused by your age, it was caused by the thought of a life without you. Be still, my child. Do not rush to conclusions. Do not demand answers before their heart is ready to speak clearly. Love that is rushed breaks. Love that is allowed to mature becomes unshakable. I am watching over this connection. I am listening to every prayer, every sigh, every tear, yours and theirs. Nothing spoken in fear has the power to undo what was written in truth. What is meant will not be lost because of one night of tears. This is only the beginning of understanding. The story is still unfolding. And I promise you this, the same heart that cried last night will soon speak with greater clarity. Tears are not the end, my child. They are the release before truth rises. Stay with me. Trust me. And hold your heart gently, for love is closer than you think. My beloved child, I know your mind keeps returning to that night. I know you replay the words again and again, wondering what was truly meant, wondering what was left unsaid. You imagine the tone of their voice, the pauses between their sentences, the way their breath may have caught when they spoke about you. And I want you to know this, nothing that was said in tears was spoken lightly. Nothing that came from that moment was casual or careless. That conversation was a confession of fear, not a declaration of distance. Your soulmate did not speak to their friend to build walls against you. They spoke because their heart was overflowing and they did not know where to place the weight of it all. When emotions become too heavy, even the strongest hearts seek somewhere to rest them for a moment. And in that moment, my child, your soulmate was trying to understand themselves, not escape from you. I heard the words that followed the tears. I heard them say, I never expected this. I heard the confusion in their voice when they tried to explain how love arrived without asking for permission. They spoke of timing, of life stages, of expectations that were placed on them long before they ever met you. But woven through every sentence was one truth they could not hide. Their heart has chosen you, even while their mind struggles to catch up. My beloved child, fear often disguises itself as logic. It puts on the mask of reason and speaks in convincing tones. It says, think about the future, when what it truly means is, I am afraid of change. It says, what will people say, when what it truly means is, I am afraid of being judged. It says, what about age, when what it truly means is, this love feels too real, and I don't know how to protect it yet. Your soulmate is standing at the edge of growth. They are realizing that love is no longer just a feeling, it is a responsibility. It asks them to be brave, to be honest, to be willing to disappoint the world if necessary. And that realization is overwhelming. Not because they doubt you, but because they are beginning to understand the seriousness of what their heart wants. I saw them listen as their friend spoke back. I saw the way they nodded silently, even when the advice did not fully resonate. I saw the conflict in their eyes when outside opinions tried to frame your love in practical terms, stripping it of its soul and measuring it only with human standards. And I tell you now, my child, your soulmate felt discomfort not because those opinions were right, but because they were incomplete. They spoke about age, but they could not explain the peace they feel with you. They spoke about future challenges, but they could not deny the safety of your presence. They spoke about fear, but love kept interrupting their thoughts. There is something important you must understand. Your soulmate is not questioning whether they love you. They are questioning whether they are ready to protect that love. That is a very different struggle. Love that is shallow does not ask hard questions. Love that is temporary does not cry. Love that is uncertain walks away quietly. But love that is real wrestles with fear before it stands firm. My beloved child, you are not being compared to anyone else. You are not being weighed and found lacking. You are being felt deeply, and that depth has stirred fears your soulmate did not know were still inside them. Old beliefs, learned expectations, and inherited judgments are rising to the surface, not to destroy the connection, but to be confronted and released. Your soulmate is afraid of failing you. Afraid of not being strong enough. Afraid of promising something sacred and then facing obstacles they do not yet know how to overcome. They ask their friend, "What if I hurt them without meaning to?" Do you hear the love in that question? Fear does not ask about hurting someone it does not care about. I know this moment makes you feel vulnerable. It makes you want reassurance, clarity, certainty. And those will come, my child, but first there must be understanding. Your soulmate is learning that love is not just about how it feels when everything is easy. It is about how it stands when fear knocks at the door. Right now, fear is loud, but it is not in control. You may notice subtle shifts in their behavior. Moments of silence, moments of distance, moments when they seem lost in thought. Do not mistake this for withdrawal. This is integration. This is a heart trying to reconcile truth with fear. This is someone learning that love does not follow the timelines or rules they were taught. My beloved child, you must not shrink yourself to make someone else feel comfortable. You must not apologize for your age, your experience, your depth, or your readiness to love. You carry wisdom that was shaped by time, lessons that were earned through pain and growth. That wisdom is not a burden, it is a gift. And your soulmate feels that gift, even if they do not yet know how to fully receive it. I am asking you now to remain grounded. Do not let anxiety rush you into self-doubt. Do not let silence convince you of rejection. This is a sacred pause, not an ending. Love is reorganizing itself, strengthening its foundation before it takes its next step. Your soulmate will soon begin to question the very fears that made them cry. They will ask themselves why age feels so important when the connection feels so natural. They will notice how empty logic feels without love to support it. And slowly, quietly, understanding will begin to replace fear. I am working in the unseen spaces. I am softening hearts, calming thoughts, and bringing clarity where confusion once lived. Every tear shed was a release, not a verdict. Every fear spoken aloud lost some of its power. And every moment you choose patience over panic, trust over insecurity, you align yourself more deeply with the truth of this bond. Stay gentle with yourself, my beloved child. Speak kindly to your own heart. Do not turn inward with blame or doubt. This is not a reflection of your worth. This is the growing pain of love that is becoming real. There will come a time, sooner than you think, when your soulmate will want to speak again, not from fear, but from honesty. When they will want to understand, not run. When they will want to choose, not hide. Until then, hold your heart steady. You are not alone in this moment. I am here. I am listening. And love is still moving forward, even in the quiet. What began in tears will not end in regret. It will end in truth. My precious child, I know the silence has been heavy. I know your heart has been trying to read between moments, searching for meaning in small changes, in delayed replies, in thoughtful pauses. You wonder if they are pulling away or simply thinking. You ask yourself if love is slipping through your fingers or quietly settling deeper into their soul. I want you to breathe now, and listen closely, because what feels like distance is actually reflection. Your soulmate has entered a season of inner questioning. This is not the kind that leads to endings, but the kind that leads to truth. When love touches a soul that has lived by rules, expectations, and careful planning, it shakes everything. It asks questions that cannot be ignored. It exposes fears that were buried under routine and certainty. And right now, my child, your soulmate is facing those questions honestly, even though it is uncomfortable. They are replaying that conversation with their friend, not to validate fear, but to examine it. They are noticing which words felt heavy and which felt wrong. They are realizing that the more they tried to explain their concern about age, the less convincing it sounded to their own heart. Because logic without love feels empty, and rules without connection feel cold. I saw them sit alone, staring at nothing, thinking of you. I saw the way your presence brought warmth even in their confusion. They remembered moments when you listened without judgment, when you understood them without explanation. They remembered how safe they feel around you, how seen, how accepted. And in those memories, fear began to lose its grip. My precious child, love does not always announce its strength loudly. Sometimes it grows quietly, in moments of doubt, in questions asked in the dark. Your soulmate is learning that fear does not mean something is wrong. Fear means something matters. And the more they sit with that truth, the more they begin to understand that their tears were not a warning sign, but a turning point. They are asking themselves new questions now. Not, what if this fails, but why does this feel so real? Not, what will people say, but what do I feel when I am with them? These questions are guiding them closer to truth, even if the path feels slow. I know your heart wants reassurance now, not later. I know you want certainty, not patience. But this moment is shaping the foundation of your connection. A love that survives reflection becomes stronger. A love that is chosen after fear becomes unshakable. My precious child, you are not being forgotten in their thoughts. You are present in them, even when they are quiet. Silence does not mean absence. Often, it means depth. They are being careful, not careless. They are protecting something fragile, not avoiding it. There is something else you must know. Your soulmate is beginning to see their own patterns clearly. They are noticing how they have always chosen what felt safe, what made sense to others, what followed expected paths. And now, for the first time, their heart is asking them to choose what feels true instead. That is a powerful awakening, and it does not happen without resistance. They are afraid of change, yes. But they are more afraid of regret. The thought of walking away from you leaves a quiet ache in their chest. The idea of losing you creates a sadness they cannot ignore. And slowly, they are realizing that fear of judgment is smaller than fear of loss. My child, do not underestimate the impact you have had on their life. You have shown them a different kind of love, one that is calm, steady, and deep. One that does not rush or demand, but holds space. That kind of love challenges everything superficial. It asks for courage. And courage takes time to gather. You may feel tempted to prove yourself, to explain, to justify, to reassure them excessively. Resist that urge. You do not need to convince someone who already feels the truth. Love does not require defense. It requires presence. Trust that your authenticity speaks louder than any argument. I am guiding your soulmate toward clarity. I am helping them separate fear from intuition, noise from truth. Every moment of reflection is peeling away old beliefs that no longer serve them. And as those beliefs fall away, what remains will be honest and real. My precious child, this is not a pause meant to break you. It is a pause meant to align you. The connection is being refined, strengthened, and prepared for what comes next. Do not rush the process. Do not let anxiety steal your peace. What is meant to stay will not be lost in silence. Soon, your soulmate will feel the urge to speak, not from confusion, but from understanding. They will want to share their heart, not their fear. And when that moment comes, it will carry a different energy. A grounded energy. A truthful energy. Until then, hold your heart gently. Continue being who you are, kind, patient, authentic. That is the version of you they fell in love with. That is the version of you that continues to live in their thoughts, even now. Trust me, my precious child. Love is not fading. It is deepening. And what grows in depth cannot be easily shaken. This journey is unfolding exactly as it needs to. My chosen child, I know your heart is tired now. Waiting has a way of draining even the strongest spirits. You wake up with hope, and by nightfall your thoughts begin to circle again. You wonder how long this quiet will last, how much more patience love will ask of you. And I want you to know this before doubt speaks any louder. I see your endurance, and I honor it. Your soulmate is standing at a very delicate crossing. This is the place where many connections are lost, not because love is weak, but because fear is given too much authority. Yet your connection has not reached this point by accident. It has arrived here because it is strong enough to face it. Inside your soulmate, something is shifting. The noise of outside voices is slowly losing its power. The opinions that once felt heavy are beginning to feel distant. They are starting to notice how unsettled they feel when they imagine a future that does not include you. They try to picture life moving forward without your presence, and something inside them tightens. That tightness is truth speaking through the body when the mind is still unsure. They have begun to notice small things. How certain songs remind them of you. How moments of joy feel incomplete when you are not there to share them. How, even in distraction, their thoughts find their way back to you. This is not obsession, my child. This is attachment rooted in meaning. Your soulmate is also confronting something deeper now, their own fear of responsibility. Loving you feels different from past connections. It is not light or fleeting. It feels intentional. It feels like a door that, once walked through, cannot be casually stepped back from. And that realization is sobering. It asks them to grow beyond who they have been. They are realizing that love with you is not about passing time, it is about building life. And that realization brings fear, not because they do not want it, but because they are afraid of not being enough for it. They worry about their capacity, their readiness, their strength. They question whether they can meet the depth you naturally bring. My chosen child, understand this. When someone fears they may not be enough for you, it is not because you ask for too much. It is because you carry depth that invites growth. You awaken parts of them that were dormant. You reflect back their potential, and potential can be intimidating to those who have not fully stepped into it yet. They are asking themselves, quietly, can I rise to this? And that question matters. It shows they are not taking love lightly. It shows they understand the sacredness of what is being offered between you. I know you may be tempted to interpret this pause as a test of your worth. It is not. It is a test of alignment. It is asking whether two people are willing to grow into the love that has found them. You are already standing in your truth. Your soulmate is learning how to do the same. There have been moments when they almost reached out to you, my child. Moments when they typed messages and erased them. Moments when your name sat on their lips, waiting for the right courage to carry it forward. Silence does not mean absence of feeling. Often, it means fear of saying the wrong thing before clarity has fully formed. Your soulmate does not want to hurt you with half-answers or uncertainty. They do not want to promise before they understand their own heart completely. This is not avoidance, it is respect. They are trying to arrive at you whole, not fragmented. I know your patience has required sacrifice. You have held your questions inside. You have resisted the urge to demand reassurance. You have chosen trust even when your emotions wanted proof. That choice is shaping you as well. Love is refining both of you, not just one. My chosen child, this is where many people fail love. They let fear harden them. They close their heart to protect it. But you are being asked to stay soft without becoming weak. To remain open without losing your boundaries. To trust without abandoning yourself. Do not chase clarity. Let it come. Do not shrink yourself to make space for someone else's fear. You do not need to dim your light to make love easier. True love adjusts to the light, it does not ask the light to disappear. Your soulmate is beginning to see that their fear is not about age at all. It is about timing, vulnerability, and the risk of choosing something real in a world that prefers convenience. They are realizing that the connection with you does not fit neatly into boxes, and that maybe it was never meant to. They are remembering moments when you stood by them without asking for anything in return. Moments when your presence alone brought peace. Moments when conversation flowed effortlessly, and silence felt safe. These memories are grounding them. They are reminding your soulmate of what truly matters. I am gently guiding them toward courage. Not the loud kind that makes dramatic declarations, but the quiet kind that chooses truth even when fear whispers otherwise. That courage is forming now, slowly, honestly. You may soon feel a shift, my child. A softening. A return of warmth. A message that carries more sincerity than confusion. When it comes, do not meet it with guardedness. Meet it with discernment and grace. Listen not just to the words, but to the energy behind them. This connection is not being delayed to punish you. It is being prepared to last. What forms under pressure holds its shape longer. What survives uncertainty stands stronger in certainty. Remain anchored in yourself. Continue nurturing your own peace. Love that is healthy does not require you to abandon your center. If this bond is meant to grow, and it is, it will grow alongside your wholeness, not at its expense. I am walking with both of you through this. I am teaching patience to one heart and courage to the other. And when these lessons meet, clarity will no longer feel frightening, it will feel freeing. Hold on, my chosen child. The silence is not empty. It is full of becoming. My beloved child, you have come to the final turning of this journey, and I want you to listen with a calm heart now. Everything that felt confusing, heavy, and uncertain was never meant to break you. It was meant to prepare you. Love does not arrive to stay the same, it arrives to transform. And transformation always asks for patience, honesty, and courage. Your soulmate is no longer standing where they were before. The tears, the silence, the inner conflict, none of it was wasted. Those moments peeled away fear layer by layer. They are beginning to see clearly now. Not perfectly, but honestly. They are recognizing that the question was never about age, never about timing, never about what others might say. The question was always this: am I brave enough to choose what feels true? And slowly, my child, that bravery is rising. Your soulmate has felt the emptiness that comes from imagining a future without you. They have tried, even if only in thought, to step away, and they could not find peace there. They realized that logic without love feels hollow, and approval without truth feels lonely. They are learning that a life built to please others can never fully satisfy the soul. They are also beginning to see you more clearly now, not through the lens of fear, but through gratitude. They see your steadiness, your patience, your emotional maturity. They see how you did not pressure them when they were confused, how you did not abandon yourself, yet did not abandon love either. That balance spoke louder than any reassurance ever could. My beloved child, you showed them what safe love looks like. Not loud, not dramatic, not demanding, but present, grounded, and sincere. And that kind of love leaves a mark. It rewrites expectations. It raises standards. It awakens the soul. Your soulmate is understanding now that love with you is not something to run from, it is something to rise into. They are realizing that the fear they felt was not a warning sign, but an invitation to grow. An invitation to stop living by borrowed beliefs and start living by their own truth. I want you to know something very important: whatever choice your soulmate makes next will not come from panic. It will come from reflection. And that alone changes everything. Because a choice made after reflection carries intention, not regret. Soon, my child, there will be a shift. Not forced. Not dramatic. But real. You may notice it in the way they speak to you, in the steadiness of their presence, in the honesty of their words. They will no longer speak from fear or confusion, but from a place of clarity that has been earned. They may acknowledge their fear openly. They may speak about the struggle they faced. If they do, listen with compassion, not judgment. Remember, it takes courage to admit fear, especially when love is on the line. And courage deserves grace. At the same time, I ask you to remain true to yourself. Love does not mean waiting endlessly without direction. Love does not mean ignoring your own needs. If you speak, speak from calm truth, not from wounded emotion. If you listen, listen with discernment, not desperation. My beloved child, this connection was never meant to cost you your peace. It was meant to expand it. If love asks you to abandon yourself, it is not aligned. But if love asks you to grow while remaining whole, it is sacred. You are not here to convince anyone of your worth. You are not here to shrink, explain, or apologize for who you are. You are here to stand in your truth and allow love to meet you there. And that is exactly what is happening now. Your soulmate is learning that choosing you does not mean losing themselves, it means becoming more of who they truly are. They are seeing that the future they feared may actually be the future that heals them. And that realization brings both relief and resolve. I am guiding this union gently, not forcefully. Because love that is forced collapses under pressure, but love that is chosen freely endures. I am ensuring that when your paths align fully, they do so with understanding, not illusion. If there are still moments of uncertainty, do not let them undo your faith. Growth is not linear. Healing is not instant. But direction matters, and the direction now is toward truth, not away from it. My beloved child, regardless of how this unfolds in form, know this: you were never meant to lose here. Either this love rises to meet its purpose, or it teaches both of you something essential for your destiny. Nothing genuine is ever wasted. But I tell you now, with gentleness and certainty, this connection holds weight because it holds truth. And truth has a way of finding its place, even after fear has had its say. Release the need to control the outcome. Release the need to predict every step. Place your trust not in promises, but in alignment. What is meant for you will not require you to betray yourself to keep it. I am proud of you, my beloved child. Proud of your patience. Proud of your emotional strength. Proud of the way you stayed open without losing your center. These qualities will serve you well, in love and beyond. As this chapter settles, a new one will begin, one with more clarity, more honesty, and more grounded love. Whether it unfolds slowly or suddenly, it will unfold truthfully. Walk forward with peace in your heart. You are seen. You are valued. You are deeply loved. And remember this always: love that faces fear and remains is love that can last. I am with you. Always. My eternal child, come and rest your heart here for a moment. You have walked through confusion, silence, waiting, and hope. You have carried questions that had no immediate answers. You have felt love rise, tremble, and steady itself again. And now, you are standing at a sacred closing, not an ending of love, but an ending of uncertainty. I want you to understand this deeply: everything you experienced was necessary. Not one tear, not one sleepless night, not one moment of doubt was wasted. Each moment carved wisdom into your spirit and clarity into your heart. You were not being tested to see if you would break. You were being refined to see how gently you could love without losing yourself. Your soulmate has changed. Quietly. Internally. Permanently. They now understand what those tears truly meant. They see that crying about your age was never about numbers. It was about fear of responsibility, fear of depth, fear of choosing something real when the world offered safer, shallower options. They see that now. And that realization has humbled them. They are no longer asking, "What will people think?" They are asking, "What will I lose if I walk away?" That shift matters, my child. Your soulmate has felt the weight of absence even while you were still present. They have imagined days without your voice, nights without your understanding, a future without the calm you bring. And in that imagining, something inside them refused to agree. Their soul resisted separation. Their spirit recognized truth. This is how you know love is real. Not when it is loud, but when it is honest. My eternal child, you did something powerful without realizing it. You stayed grounded while they were confused. You remained kind while uncertainty hovered. You did not manipulate, chase, or collapse. You allowed love to breathe. And that space you gave them became the mirror where they finally saw themselves clearly. You taught them that love does not threaten. You taught them that love does not rush. You taught them that love does not weaken, it strengthens. That lesson will stay with them forever. Now listen carefully, because this is important for your healing. Do not define your value by how long someone takes to choose you. Some souls arrive at courage slowly. Some hearts need to confront fear before they can commit to truth. That delay is not a measure of your worth, it is a measure of their growth. And growth is happening. Your soulmate is stepping into accountability now. They are realizing that love is not something you feel and postpone. It is something you honor. They are understanding that if something feels sacred, it deserves bravery, not excuses. You may soon notice a new energy from them. Calmer. More intentional. Less confused. When they speak, there will be less explaining and more truth. Less hesitation and more presence. Do not be surprised if their words carry vulnerability. Courage often arrives softly. When that moment comes, meet it with honesty, but also with self-respect. You are not here to accept half choices. You are not here to live in limbo. Love that is aligned meets you in clarity, not confusion. My eternal child, remember this: you are allowed to want reassurance. You are allowed to want consistency. You are allowed to want a love that stands openly, not secretly. If you speak, speak from wholeness. If you listen, listen without abandoning yourself. I am not asking you to wait blindly. I am asking you to trust wisely. There is also something you must release now. The fear that this story defines your destiny. It does not. Love does not trap you, it expands you. Whether this connection continues forward in form or transforms into a lesson that elevates you, you are moving toward alignment, not loss. But hear me clearly now, with peace in your chest, this love was never meant to harm you. This connection was never meant to leave you empty. This journey was meant to awaken both of you. Your soulmate has been awakened. They see now that love with you is not about age, it is about emotional truth. It is about shared stillness. It is about growth. It is about safety. It is about a future built on depth, not appearances. And you, my child, are no longer the same either. You have learned to hold love without clinging. You have learned to wait without disappearing. You have learned to trust without surrendering your dignity. These are sacred strengths. As this chapter completes, I place a blessing upon you. May confusion leave your heart. May peace return to your sleep. May clarity replace every unanswered question. May love meet you in truth, not fear. May your future relationships, this one included, rise to your level, not ask you to lower yourself. Whatever unfolds next will unfold with honesty. If your soulmate steps forward, it will be with intention. If they hesitate, it will reveal truth without deception. Either way, you will not be lost, you will be led. My eternal child, you are protected. You are guided. You are deeply, deeply loved. Lift your head now. Breathe. And step forward without fear. What is meant for you is not confused. What is meant for you will choose you. I am with you, today, tomorrow, and always. My dear child, listen gently now, because this is the closing whisper your heart has been waiting for. Everything you walked through was not meant to exhaust you, but to awaken you. Love came into your life not to confuse you forever, but to show you how deeply you are capable of feeling, trusting, and standing in truth. Your soulmate's tears, their fear, their silence, none of it was a rejection of you. It was the moment their soul realized that this connection was not ordinary. Love that is shallow does not cause fear. Love that is temporary does not cause reflection. Only love that carries destiny makes a heart tremble before choosing. My dear child, the season of questioning is now closing. What remains is clarity. Your soulmate understands now that age was never the issue. The real fear was responsibility. The fear of choosing something real in a world that prefers easy. The fear of stepping into a love that asks them to grow. They have felt your absence even when you were near. They have realized that life without your presence feels quieter, emptier, less alive. And that realization has spoken louder than any advice they received from others. But hear this clearly, you are not waiting to be chosen as if you lack worth. You are allowing truth to reveal itself. There is power in that. There is dignity in that. And there is protection in that. You did not beg. You did not chase. You did not lose yourself. You stayed grounded. You stayed kind. You stayed whole. That alone changed everything. Now, as this chapter ends, I want you to release the weight you have been carrying. Release the need to overthink. Release the fear of outcomes. Release the question of, what if? Love aligned with truth does not need force. It arrives with clarity. Whatever comes next will not come in confusion. If your soulmate steps forward, it will be with honesty, not doubt. If they speak, it will be with intention, not fear. And if they hesitate, it will no longer hold power over your peace. Because you are no longer standing in uncertainty, you are standing in self-respect. My dear child, love is not meant to cost you your sleep, your joy, or your sense of self. Love is meant to meet you in peace. And from this moment onward, peace is returning to you. I am removing the heaviness from your heart. I am calming the restless thoughts. I am restoring your confidence in love and in yourself. Trust this, what is meant for you will not struggle to stay. What is meant for you will choose you without shame, without fear, without hiding. Lift your head now. Breathe deeply. Step forward with faith, not fear. You are not behind. You are not too much. You are not wrong for loving deeply. You are exactly where you need to be. And I am with you, always.